So first of all, welcome on behalf of Noida Roundtable 285. I'm Rohan Rohatgi and I'm the LAPD convener for the table. This LAPD is a part of the Ye Andar Ki Baat Hai series where we promote tablers and the families to come forward and give their expertise on topics that they specialize in. And today we have Swati Mudgal, who is the former head of compensation and benefits at Tata Teleservices and was prior to that at Wipro. She is the founder and CEO of Saisha Services LLP. For over 15 years, she has cut her teeth in management functions, drawing up countless strategies in engagements, projects, big and small. She now wears an entrepreneur's hat for the last 3 years and has a roving eye for opportunities. And now over to Swati to begin on this topic, which is because HR management matters. Swati, thank you for taking our time and doing this LAPD for us. Over to you to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohan. Thank you for being so kind about each and everything that you just said. Pankaj, Sarji, I hope I'm audible and I can speak and everybody will be able to. Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. So once again, a formal good evening to everyone. I know it is very hard to take out time on a Saturday evening, but I'm glad you all did. And I promise that I'll try and kind of make this time worth for you all. I don't think there is a formal introduction still required because each one of us, have chit-chatted and know each other. Still at a very formal ground, Vishwas, my husband, and I are a part of Noida Roundtable 285. So on to my professional life, I'm a thoroughbred HR professional for almost 15 years now, which I have spent in Wipro Technologies and Tata, the corporates like that. For over 3 years now, a little more than 3 years now, I have been running my own boutique HR firm to provide HR advisories and solutions to various organizations. Most of these organizations are small and mid-size. So, what I wanted to really do is I wanted to share the experiences as an HR professional that I have gathered in last so many years with all of you here. Most of you, or in fact all of you, are business owners, and I believe that these experiences can really hugely help all of you. I firmly believe all of that. So at the time when I was in the journey, when I was on my own and I was trying to kind of work a lot with this small and medium enterprise segment that we just spoke about, I realized that there is a huge potential of improvement into human resource function and people management for these organizations. So which is why we are here today. I really wanted to share those experiences and kind of make it genuine and kind of logical for all of you, and a few things here and there that probably if you try and put that up on your organization, I believe it would be a wonderful for all of us. So to set the context, HR is not a support function. It is no longer considered to be a support function. It has to be looked like a business enabler. Business enabler, which can support your business decisions, and show you that kind of grand success. Right? So guys, now that even the attendance is not that great, what I would really suggest is that I have purposely not kept any formal question and answers in between this session, because I purposely want you all to interrupt. I want you to interrupt me every time you have any, a moment where you feel that you have to share any experience. At any moment you have any questions, let us take it there and then, because such forums becomes very boring unless and until it is like interactive in nature. Yeah, great. So moving on, let me see. Rohan, I can't see the screen now. I can. Can you all see the screen now?
Not yet.
Not yet, Swati.
Okay, so do I start the screen sharing one more time? Just give me 1 second, please.
Yeah.
Is this visible now?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Okay. So guys, what better than to start this kind of discussion, this kind of forum by sharing some beautiful quotations. Yeah, we'll just quickly go one by one. To win the marketplace, you must first win the workplace. Okay, a question back to all of you. Where do you think 60 to 70% of your wake up time goes? Where are you spending 60 to 70% of your wake up time on Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday typically?
Mine to 90% on my mobile.
Fantastic. Is mobile your workplace? All right.
Office, laptop.
Fantastic. So there you go. So rightly said, Matthew. Thank you. I mean, what we all are doing is we get up and then we sleep in between whatever is the wake up window. We have been sharing most of our hours at our workplaces. So genuinely what we have to think on, what we have to really focus on is to make this place, this workplace, a happy place, a place full of warmth, a place full of, you know, respect. Unless and until we really achieve this, it would be difficult for our team members, our organization members to really like being where they are. Yeah. So quickly coming to the second quotation. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than what is expected. Very, very, very interesting quotation. Purely focusing on appreciation. Now, who better than tablers understand the logic and the importance of appreciation? I believe you all have been running your shows. I mean, it's a very community driven organization, right? RTI. You guys are volunteers. You guys are trying to help community and do whatnot. Are you getting paid for it? No. You know, what is really driving all of you is probably the appreciations. I have seen so many times when you guys are going bonkers on getting that pin, right? That appreciation pin, a president's award, some medal, some town halls, what not. I mean, all these are nothing but appreciation, guys, right? So when we talk so much about appreciation, I really want to kind of go back and check from all of you. How many of us are really driving this same feeling, same logic back into our organizations? Any comment? So we try and you know, see this importance of appreciation day in, day out. But you know, my humble request, my plea, just take a moment, think whether you also are trying to put this discipline of appreciation back into your organizations. Extremely, extremely important, guys. Quickly coming to the third one. Train people enough. Give me 1 second. Well enough, so then they leave. Treat them well enough, say they don't want to. Very, very simple logic. Train people and engage people. Train people and engage your good people, right? This is a very simple logic that we all understand. And probably again, look at the art, look at Roundtable India. I mean, what you guys are trying to do each and every moment is training your travelers. What are we doing right now? You know, why do we emphasize so much on LAPD? And I know that the buck doesn't really stop there. I mean, you have Next, you have Text, you have NLC, ALC, TTT. I've heard all these words from people from Vishwas. So which really means that this thing has to be important. The concept of training has to be important. Please put lot of importance onto this aspect of training. And again, a question back to all of you. I really want to understand from each one of you, do you have any structured training programs at your workplace, at your organizations, which is kind of, you know, putting that initiative and aspiring your people to be there with your organization? So net, what I'm trying to say here is that, guys, we all understand this grand importance of human resource management. Yeah. However, unfortunately, you know, sorry to say that we often neglect it. We've been neglecting it because I know for sure that all the organizations pay lot of attention to anything which has a compliance related matter. Why? It is obviously important. You have to pay that attention on to legal compliances, tax related compliances, GST compliances, but we are bound to pay attention to that because it has a direct linkage and monetary value attached to it. If you don't do it, then obviously you have to pay some taxes, extra penalties, right? However, please understand, people are your biggest asset. Yeah. People are extremely important. I have seen it in last 20 years of my work life. If you have paid enough attention on your people as a human asset, you're going to go really far. You're going to really going very, very far. I'm sure the results that you get are not very tangible or are not immediately, you can't see it, but it has an impact. It has a very, very strong impact, guys. So as a concept, I mean, in nutshell, what we are trying to say is this session today is an attempt to understand as why is human resource management so important? How can an effective management of the same be beneficial to you and your organization? We are just kind of together trying to understand this. Yeah. Any observations so far? I mean, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll quickly move ahead. Brilliant. Okay. So we all know, I mean, these are the typically resources that we start. I mean, these are back to basic things, right? When you're starting the organization or when you are into an organization, you need financial resources, you need knowledge resources, you physical resources, and last but not the least, the human resources. So today we are just kind of working on this model. We're just trying to kind of understand about human resources, our employees. Yeah. So what you see on this slide, guys, is nothing but, the 6 key elements of human resource function. These are nothing, no big jargons. I mean, very simple words, terms that you've been using every day basis in your organizations. However, what we'll try and do is we'll try and dig deeper into each one of these aspects, which are extremely important aspects, and go one by one and see that how can we still improve this bit into your organization. So when we are going into this flow, guys, please bring on any experiences or questions if you may have. Let's try and kind of sort it out together. And anytime if you feel that I'm moving a little fast, please let me know that time also. So the first one, the key function that you all understand this as hiring, recruitment, talent acquisition, So this is the first most important function that our HR teams start their work with, to hire people for your organization, or rather to put that focus on to right people for right job, right? This is exactly what we are trying to do every day, right? So let's understand what are some of the things by which, minor changes here and there, if you feel to do, then probably you're really making yourself in a better position. So some pointers here that I would like to understand. Okay, first, hiring process creates the first impression. What are we saying here? You call people for hiring in your offices, in your organization, and believe me, what happens is when people walk in, the moment people walk in, they start creating that impression. The moment they walk in at the reception, ask for that they're supposed to be into an interview or whatever, that is the moment that that person is making that impression about your organization. So be watchful of this. Hiring process to be defined right from day one. Guys, this is where I have seen the biggest of organizations and smallest of organizations sometimes to create that mistake, right? We all have to invest a good amount of time in defining my hiring process. When I say defining my hiring process, in fact, that stands true for most of the processes. If you write it down, if you do the brainstorming onto that concept, it is very, very, very important to understand that it will not create any troubles at a later stage for you. So when I say you have to write from the start till the end, think about who will be. Are you hiring through vendors? Are you going to hire through social media like LinkedIn pages? Are you wanting to kind of call for your references? So write down what is the method of your hiring process. Then coming to who will be your point of contact, who's basically having the responsibility of writing that job description, right, for you, who will be making calls to these people to say, hey, listen, we are calling from ABC Consultant, why don't you come for an interview? Okay, another stage that you have to focus on. Then define your hiring process. Are you going to send questionnaires for them first? Are you directly inviting them for interviews? What is it that you're trying to do? Just define it thoroughly, and you will be able to really get 100% success rate onto adherence of it. Now coming to something very critical, very important, sometimes we really pay no attention to this, which is called job description, role clarity. Okay, so some of us sometimes think that, okay, this is a particular, for example, a sales manager, right? I need a sales manager. Bhai, mere ko sales manager la do, khatam kahani. Don't you understand? Don't I understand what a sales manager is? We all understand, guys. However, define it define it in a proper format. In the later slides, I will show you how well a JD can be made. And the moment you will write this job description, you will understand half of your problem is gone. 80% of a good chance is that you will be able to get yourself the right fit for your right role. Okay. So, okay, so we'll come to JD later. Then obviously coming to what is the model of hiring that you want to do. Do you, interview people basis what has been written into their CVs? Or you want to kind of define the capabilities for each of the role that they are supposed to do, and then you are assessing them technically, scientifically, right? So, this may look like a stupid HR jargon. कि क्या competency based hiring करना है? How many of us really understand this? Guys, come on, take a shot. Guys, so मत जाना यार. People.
We're very much here and able to understand what you want to convey very clearly.
Fantastic.
Swati, I guess you're trying to say that basically you need to define a role and then try to find a person for that role.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is define the capabilities that you need to do a role, right? So what I'm trying to also say here is that, there is a role in our mind, right? Role in our mind is very much there, but then when we decide that what are the capabilities, because you all will understand what a manager finance is supposed to do, what a manager HR is supposed to do, a manager sales is supposed to do. All these are same band positions probably in your organization, but the capabilities, the skill set that is required to do each one of these categories is absolutely different. For HR, you are wanting somebody who understands people, emotions, feelings, who can interact well. For sales, you want somebody who can go and talk to any kind of client in the market, right? For finance, you want somebody who understands, who has the behavior and the competency to kind of understand the financial jargon, right? So it is difficult, and that is where we are saying that define those competencies and start evaluating your people at the time of interview in something very, very famous model, which is called situation action result, a SAR model. Use these techniques, use these tools to make it more scientific and more appropriate for yourself. Something that we missed in between and extremely, extremely important. While defining JD, look at the role and do not look at the incumbent. Incumbent is our HR jargon that we all use, which really means that the position holder. If I am doing that role for 5 to 7 years for now, maybe, I am doing it in a certain way. But when you defining, and for all of us, and if I'm trying to say is that if this person writes today, you're wanting to refill his position. This is also one very practical mistake that we do. We keep thinking about that person who was doing this role. What I really suggest, what I submit to all of you is, do not keep that person in your mind. Keep the role in your mind, and then define the JD, and then get into the appropriate, hiring process. Okay. So also, I mean, just a kind of, a few pointers onto the interview techniques, which I believe and have worked for us for so many years now. Focus on attitude and behavior. This is my personal favorite. I just saw Varun join. I work along with his organizations, and he has, heard this many a times from me. Focus on attitude and behavior, guys. Get people with right behavior, right attitude. Do not, skill set, technical abilities, they all can be developed, but look at who is fitting well into your organization. Try and get some people who have the right attitude, right behavior. And focus on data validation. So at a later stage, if we have another round only to understand hiring bit, I will explain. This is nothing but a technique wherein you keep questioning on a particular data to some people to understand whether they're just kind of well prepared for an interview on faffing, or is it actually worth or truth in what they are saying. Okay. So quickly moving on, because I really want you to see this, JD. So it is a quick format of job description, a sample set that I have tried to give in here. But obviously don't want you to kind of go through the entire bit. What I want you to focus are certain points that for each and every role, once you start describing or writing what is the job purpose, start writing on the accountabilities that this person is supposed to do, whether this person is supposed to only do business expansion, or he or she is supposed to go out and meet the government official, or is he liable for doing the customer satisfaction, or she only responsible for the internal processes. Try and write down all the principal accountabilities. And extremely important is key interaction. This not too many JDs carry, but I recommend personally to all of you, try and put emphasis on who are the key interaction buckets for you. Okay, for this particular position, you will see the internal interaction and external interaction changes drastically. There are times when you will say that, okay, at internal level, you're only supposed to go and meet the management team. You're supposed to go and meet the internal departments like sales and operations and all of that. Or maybe you're supposed to only meet the BU heads. At an external level, probably at this position, you're supposed to have this person go and meet the customers many a time, or maybe government officials or external forums or consultants, vendor supports. Just write it down. Why? Because this will explain, this column will explain that what is that characteristic, what is that behavior in an individual who's supposed to do this right job for you. Okay, so I purposely mark this personal characteristics and behavior into blue, because I want you to pay attention at the time when you're interviewing people. Keep focus on what kind of people are you looking for, what are the behaviors, what are the traits. Extremely important. Very quick example, because we all can relate to our personal lives. So recently what had happened was, there is a manufacturing plant that I kind of work along with very regularly. There was a big problem. We really relied on a BU head kind of position. The person went off, and then oops, we had to hunt for it. Now what we started to do was, we started with a little first mistake, that we started to find somebody like that person. Okay, this person was an expert onto the software side as well as the hardware side. We kept looking for people. We wasted 30 days. We wasted 30 days finding the right fit. And then that eureka comes, So what we started to do was, we started to redefine and we rewriting the job description. Interestingly, what happened was, we discovered that there is a SME segment of hardware, and there is a subject matter expert element of the software into this combination of role. So what we did was, we looked for one SME hardware, we looked for one SME software, and the position that we had in mind was 50 lakh worth position. And imagine what, the first position got closed at 10 lakh and the second position got closed at 12 lakh. So in 22 lakh, we had the perfect of the people, and right behaviors and the right work that we were able to do. So what made us think and do that and achieve that is by writing those small minor details that we miss completely in that madness of just kind of going for hiring, right? Achieving to get the right people. Brainstorm between the leadership, think what you're wanting to do, and then strive for what you are hunting from the market. Yeah. So I'm assuming that if you have any questions, you guys will come back to me, but otherwise I'm just kind of moving fast because we've already kind of spent 20 minutes. So next bit is personally my favorite: employee engagement and retention. Okay. So extremely important, guys. Just think of situations. पिछला कुछ 3-4 महीना सोचो कि in your organization, when did you felt moved? When was that panic situation in your head? Oh God, अब क्या करेंगे? Right? I can bet my life when attrition happens, you know, your key resource walks out of your organization, that is the point when you feel pained and you feel that alert. Am I right? Right. So attrition creates a lot of problem. Why? Because this person walks out, with a lot of learning and experiences and the training that you guys have given to him, right? Sometimes what we have seen, and you have seen it for sure, sometimes these people walk out with their teams. Sometimes the people walk out with their clients, right? So how important an attrition management can be for all of us, guys. Extremely, extremely important. So there is a bad attrition and there is a concept of good attrition. Bad attrition is typically, you know, when we want some people to go, they're not doing what we have put in on personal improvement plans and all of that jazz. But मेरे को नहीं चाहिए भाई, जा तो अपना घर. That's a bad attrition, and I'm happy with it as an organization. Now coming to the good good attrition, I want to save that person at any cost. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, what I hear from most of my clients is, अरे थोड़ा पैसा बढ़ा दो यार, रुक जाएगा. होता है यार, practically we all think. But believe me, every individual, every employee of yours has that saturation, that benchmark of salary, you know, that money. So once that level is reached, money as a topic is off the table. You cannot really lure people by giving or offering them more money. What really makes them stop is that you are working on them, you are engaging them, you're wanting them, you care for them. Yeah. So let's look at some of the tools that
but
probably.
I want to interrupt in between.
Yeah.
At times that I've seen that when you basically, yes, of course, I do not deny that you should care. But some employees have the tendency to take a feeling that, you know, इस organization का काम नहीं चल रहा मेरे बिना, बहुत ज़्यादा पूछ रहे हैं, right? So what do you do about it? So and that brings into their head that we are above the system, we are above the process, and the company wants us more than, you know, we want the company, right? So how do you ensure, I mean, that it's a two-way exchange, that they should understand if we value you, you are valued, we are being valued.
Absolutely.
Or at the same time.
Absolutely. A brilliant question.
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead.
And this is what we face, you know, every 6 months we've seen, and this happens to many of the key employees and you know, key position holders with the company. This is a very true fact, because they are the people who go out, who, you know, who may be handling clients, who may be handling processes, which are very important. And they get a appreciation not only from the management, they get appreciation from people whom they are interacting with. Okay, boss, aap to bahut acha kaam kar rahe ho, you're doing a fabulous job. The company has been run by you. So this gets onto their head. Now, how do you tackle that? That's one of the problems which arises due to this.
See, I completely agree with your point, Pankaj here. I completely understand. These are very practical situations that comes to each one of us, right? But I would really say that, again, go back and apply a little science here. Okay, try and evaluate time and again. And there are certain tools which will answer this this question maybe a little later in you know, when we are walking down the slides. So what has to happen is, there are few things that I recommend all organizations to do. Something in terms of the salary benchmarking, you know, where do you peg yourself in the market? But remember, you have to understand that key point, right? Whether you really want this person with the kind of capabilities and whatever, definitely it is an important thing to understand. But engagement levels for people, different people are different engagement levels. Some people really value you taking care of their families. Sometimes people value you appreciating them. Some people say कि अरे यार boss बहुत appreciate कर रहा है तो मैं तो एकदम hero हूँ. But for those people, again, there is a different pull up. Okay. Sometimes what we have also seen is there is a very adequate you know, requirement of you pushing them and pulling them, and a carrot and a kind of stick kind of behavior that you have to keep doing them. Such people, you know, I typically, you know, personally, what I have seen and what we have tried with a lot of people and given got excellent results is, when a person starts to thinking that they are the Rajaji of the process, try and give them a step higher and a more difficult situation to handle. Okay. Such people enjoy getting challenges. Try and give them more challenges. and then see that whether they are able to have that success. Probably it's a good mix, right? You're kind of assessing them onto certain capabilities. They already in their head are thinking that we are much more capable. Give them a step higher, position to handle. Try that. And even the promotion matrix, I typically say that agar aisa situation mein aa gaye, so don't give the promotion or the salary increment. Give the higher role, higher authority, higher accountability, and see if they are able to justify yourself. If they're able to justify themselves, then probably elevate them. Why do you worry, right? Give them bigger geographies, give them more work, give them more clients. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Swati, I have a doubt.
Please, Matthew. Bolo.
So, so with employers now, because of the attrition rate, there seems to be a certain mindset that, well, even if we take care of them, it's not going to work because they're going to leave anyways. Okay. And well, if they go, then we have to adopt to a situation where we accept that there's going to be attrition and we accordingly treat them just like that. They are there for 2 years, they go, we get another set. It's like one batch pass out, okay, the dusra batch aayega types. Okay. How does one combat that kind of an attitude from the top down? You know, it's not because the bottom is also contributing to it. You know, with people moving vertically for personal gain, whether that be in position or for more money. How does one then, from a management perspective, look at it? Okay, fine, I will expend X amount of money to retain people and I'll continue taking care of them when I know that in 2 years from now I train them and they leave. It has got nothing to do with my attitude towards them, but they're just like that. That's the new crop of people that I are passing out and coming to.
You've confused me a little bit. So your question is more from an, you're wearing an employer hat or you're wearing an employee hat. You're thinking that an employer is feeling कि ये तो चले ही जाएगा, या employee saying कि जो मर्जी कर ले भाई मैं तो चले ही जाऊंगा.
No, I'm basically saying that that's the employee attitude which is now coming around. Okay, people are shifting for a whole host of things which does not involve whether the working environment is good or whether they're treated properly. They are moving just because they want to get personal gain, whether that be a position or for money. Okay, as an employer today or a person sitting in management today, we've reached a point where we say, okay, we accept that. We accept that. This is the situation. This is the ground reality. We accept it. Whatever we say, whatever we do, it's not going to help retain people. So we have to then move to a position where
one point of caution, Matthew. Do not feel that this is an assumption that you can kind of live with. Please don't do that mistake. That's not the right way to look at this. I'm sure you would have heard this, but believe me, in HR, all the surveys and the methods that we have read for so many years, when still we look at the different categories of attrition, when we look at, are they leaving us for more money? Are they leaving us for a better career opportunity? Are they leaving us for anything else? Do you know, for last so many years, what is the obvious answer? People are leaving they're not leaving their organization. They're leaving their bosses. They're leaving the leadership. At least 72% was the last, answer that I remember in one of the recent surveys that I read. 72% people of that bucket said that I left because I was not getting along with my boss. I was not liking him. He's too bossy. He's too idiot. He doesn't understand me. What is this? I don't really say that the bosses are always idiot. What I'm trying to say is it is human behavior. We have to think on what tool. Once we wear an employer hat, it is not simple. We all understand. Yeah, we are the business owners, and we have to keep remembering that these are the assets that I have to stay on with. And as I said, attrition is good and bad. Sometimes you would want to get rid of certain people. Sometimes you want to retain certain people. Retain your people and figure out how will you retain that set of people. It is important. Do not live in that assumption. I know personally at least hundreds of people who have been staying in my previous organization, Wipro Technologies, for 15 years, 17 years. Not all organizations can be Wipro, we all understand. But it's a myth if we say that it was a one fantastic, comfortable position. They also had their problems, right? But there are tricks. Yeah, Rohan, please.
So I just had one question, if you're done with this.
Yes.
Now, when you talk about engagement levels, now it could be different for, let's say, when you're talking about a 10-person company or when you're talking about a 1,000-person company.
Yes.
So how does one really go about it? Because let's say today when you're looking at a company which is maybe just 5 or 10 employees versus a company which is 1,000, how does one really engage? How does one create tools depending on the size of the company? Because what's maybe applicable for a 1,000 people company might not be applicable for a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 10 people company. How does one go about it? Because you could have limitations of resources or various other limitations on that.
See, to answer that question, obviously it is a very, very correct question, because I just said that, I came from Wipro Technologies and spent time in Tata and then kind of moved on, directly to SME segment. And this is one area where kind of, rediscovered life for HR management altogether. One thing that we all have to remember is every 1,000 people company was someday 10 people, right? So we start small, and that is where all these interventions make you big. Okay. Obviously the formats change, but science to science hai bhai. Okay. Science and art ka jo combination that we are trying to follow as an HR leader, HR manager, or even as an employer or a business owner, that has to remain. Try and take those baby steps. Probably 1,000 people company will try and use all these techniques that we are trying to kind of brainstorm on today, 7, 8 of them. But the smaller organization, my recommendation is start by 3, start by 2, start by 1, but then try and follow step by step and do that. And every technique you will understand when we'll just kind of go through it, and probably we can have a separate session on that we will understand that every technique is applicable a smaller as well as a bigger one. Sometimes obviously the scale changes. Yes. Where you would need a big department to handle this, probably one person should be able to do it. But just try and kind of use chota elements of each and everything. Does that answer? Okay, great. So we'll move a little faster now. Some of the tools of engagement that I have been kind of harping on. So I am bucketizing these tools at leadership level or employee level. Okay? Leadership level, what are the few things that you can start thinking on or start implementing in your organization? Try and create those vision and mission statements. ये थोड़ा स्टूपिड जार्गन लगने लगता है कई बार लोगों को कि क्या यार, मतलब मैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए विजन और स्टेटमेंट बनाऊं और एक मिशन स्टेटमेंट. व्हाट इज विजन स्टेटमेंट? विजन स्टेटमेंट इज दैट पर्पस दैट यू आर गिविंग to your employees, to yourself, that if I have this organization, why do I have this organization? What is that end purpose of my organization? Think on that, right? Vision statement, honestly, I have seen lot of organizations and even the larger corporates, you would remember that this is that punchline, that pride statement that your employees would want to carry on. This is one area what makes you the Amitabh Bachchan or Mr. Modi of your organization, which means by creating that fan following into your organization. Amitabh Bachchan by saying कि आज भी मैं क्या फेंके हुए पैसे नहीं उठाता हूँ, या Mr. Modi to say Swachh Bharat. Believe me, these are just not like they wanted to say it and they said it. No, they wanted to make that vision in people's mind. स्वच्छ भारत बोलते के साथ में वो टैगलाइन तुम सबको याद होगा यार. Even the bachas and the maids and us and domestic helps, everybody were talking about Swachh Bharat, right? So this is the power of that vision statement that you can have. And mission statement is nothing but when I break my vision statement into year on year and say that okay, इस साल ये कर लेंगे, उस साल ये achieve करेंगे, and then ये target हम पूरा करेंगे. So that's the importance. So try and focus. अगर अभी तक कर लिया, well and good. Try and kind of make newer versions. नहीं किया तो भी ठीक है यार. I mean, now is the time. Just make yourself, think big. Tell yourself that when you are 5 people right now, or 10 or 30 or 40, you will obviously become 4,000, 10,000, in few years from now. So think in those perspectives. Second one, very, very important, creating org structure. Sometimes we don't even bother. We tell ourselves, yeah, 4-5 bande hain, 10 bande hain, 35 bande hain. Why to create this org structure? Org structure has to be created. It serves 2 purposes. One, it gives clarity on that, hierarchy. कौन किसको report कर रहा है, कौन सा function handle कर रहा है, कौन admin head है, कौन HR head है, कौन finance head है. I have met so many people in the exit interviews. I have received feedback for some of the organizations. कि बॉस ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कहाँ जाएगा, हमें तो यही नहीं पता कि कौन क्या कर रहे हैं. Avoid, completely avoidable, guys. Do not do this mistake. Okay, try and carve out an org structure or org chart for your organization. Third, very important, again, succession planning. The day you start with your organization, you have to remember to focus on business continuity. Biggest example in government, koi bata sakta hai? One of the parties which is kind of going completely for a toss because they do not have succession planning planned for them.
I believe it's the INC.
Or I believe it is Congress.
It's the same.
Yeah, so please, I mean, you know, don't make your organization Congress, right? Please focus on succession planning. Succession planning kya hai? It may look like a thoda difficult, but succession planning is ke identifying the key positions in your org structure. Identify kar liya, uske baad mein remember that if hypothetically that person, that key position holder is missing, he or she has gone for a business expansion or has gone for attrition now. Why? How are you building up that business continuity? Who's responsible for that role now? So focus on job rotations, train people onto a cross rotational jobs. That will help you. That will really help you. Okay. Now quickly coming to the employee level. Employee level, there are hazard things by that you can do. So starting from communication, please remember, and you know, here at this point, I remember Ashish started this conversation and said that, you know, it is important for all of us to understand HRM in this COVID times. Ashish, this is one thing on which I was, you know, maximum times approached by my clients, and believe me, we have achieved amazing results by doing proper planned communications. So in fact, you know, I would like to share this example which really touched my heart. One of the organizations where we had a solid cash crunch, that, you know, we all had that kind of scenario, and we decided that unless and until we do deferment of pays and salary cuts by at least 25% of all these employees, we will not be able to sustain. And obviously it was very difficult for us to communicate it back to our employees, right? Obviously किसी का भी 25% काट लोगे तो मर जाएगा यार. But what we decided is that we will stay strong. We will do a transparent communication. We decided to share with our employees that these were the revenues all these while. This is the revenue, you know, upside that we have got these days. COVID situation, our payments have got stuck and all of that. We explained all of that, and then we explained that unfortunately, which we never want to do, but we have to deduct 25%, you know, salaries. And guess what? I mean, there were so many employee mails that we received. And one of the employee, you know, I would like to make a special mention. He wrote back to me saying that, you know, I've done the calculation for salary, madam. And what I realized is that instead of 25%, please deduct 40% of my salary, because this is what I can spare. I will still be paying all my EMI. So please deduct 40%, because if the organization stays, I will stay. So please understand what is the method. How are you doing it? Send regular communications. कर रहे हो नहीं कर रहे हो कुछ नहीं है, but HR mailers भेजिए, you know, theme from MD भेजिए. Just do some minor conversations. Spend some time on Saturdays and Sundays with them. Do those communications. And also transparent. So you know, you all will say that all communication should not be relevant for all people, right? I agree. So jitna portion ka relevance hai, try and send that relevant communication to your people. What is relevant for them, just utna hi bhejiye. So communication is done at employee level. Then coming to incentives and recognition, we all understand incentive recognition is something that doesn't always need money. It's a myth. People say मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है यार ये सब नौटंकी करने का. I believe me, I've heard those words. But guys, all it takes is a small pat on the back, a small appreciation card, a small thank you note, just a kind of very small, you know, set of a letterhead to just written by MD or signed by MD. That is all it takes, and it calls for incentives and recognition that you have done. Third important one, team building. अभी tablers को team building समझाना बहुत मुश्किल है because tabling is nothing but team building, right? So you guys know how to make that 1 + 1 much more than 2. Am I right? So team building, we all understand. So please focus on team building. Showcase opinion matters. Try and build a culture into your organization wherein people feel that if they share their opinions, you are inviting their opinions. I you know, in some of the companies I have seen that they have a concept called Kaizen. It's nothing but a, you know, Japanese term of which means small improvements. They implemented Kaizen, and the ideas that came out of Kaizen process were so amazing that you know, they could have beat any green belt project for that matter. Cool. So opinion matters. Bring some fun at work. Very important. Please put a little focus on that. Do not you know, so remember at the beginning of the session we said that let's make it a fun place, let's make it you know, a learning ground, let's make it a culture of respect. Fun is one important element. Simple things like, you know, fun Fridays, theme dressing, 2 घंटा खेल लिया, डम शराट कर लिया, कुछ नहीं जाता. 6 days of working में अगर आपने 1 से 2 घंटा अगर निकाल भी दिया, and just to kind of put all of these flavors into your people, 2 thumbs up from my side. So I'm purposely wanting to share you know, few of my favorite examples, what we just kind of implemented somewhere and saw beautiful results. First one was onboarding process. What do you do when you know, people join you from the first day? Induction process. Make the first 3 days special, guys, because in the first 3 to 7 days, our science says that the employee walking into your organization will make a larger impression of the organization. The stickiness increases the moment somebody enters the organization and satisfied and feeling very happy. We introduced something called 3 threes. You know, सुनने में बहुत अटपटा लग रहा है, 3 threes क्या है? So we ensured that the 3 threes were 3 hours, 3rd day, 3rd month. 3 hours meant that the moment somebody walks in, उसका email ID चलेगा, उसका workstation मिल जाएगा, उसको laptop मिल जाएगा. We had everything planned. It was like, you know, guests coming to our place. We had everything planned. 3rd you know, day, what we ensured that there was a buddy assigned to that person. You know, somebody who's tenured in your organization, make him or her that buddy, that friend for that new coming person. Okay. On the 3rd month, what we did was a very simple 15 minutes activity. We said that let's have a coffee with leadership. So what happened was that the person is really looking forward for the 3rd month. कि आज तो मैं super boss के साथ बैठ के चाय पीऊंगा. Interesting, very happy. Really simple things to do, amazing outputs. Help your team to know each other. Again, very simple thing to understand. Involve them into you know, some exercises where they are chit chatting. They know about families, who comes from what background, what do they like, what is the hobby. करते के साथ में you will feel that when your team you know, when any single individual in a team wants help, there are 10 more people to help instead of playing those dirty politics. Help your team to know each other. Very important one again, care. Show care. I mean, there are a lot of times I have seen many of you doing genuinely work to encourage the health and wellness, but we don't showcase. We are like shy people. हमने किया, उनको पता चल जाएगा. Please don't do this. Never do this mistake. People have to be shown care at work as well as at home. Both very important. Become a part of their special days. So you know, organizations who pays that special focus on birthday, just by sending one email, happy birthday, or on their date of joining anniversary, we are very glad, you know, we are very happy that you joined us on this particular day. Small things, very doable. Start focusing on them. 3rd, yeah, last but not the least, rewards and recognition. Somewhere we have just kind of spoken about. Try and focus on those rewards, recognition that you're wanting to do. ज़्यादा साइंस हो गया है या कुछ confusion है? You want to kind of share something, experience sharing? All good? सब जगह
All good, Swati.
brilliant. Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay.
okay, but still, when you and Matthews were talking, I'm still not convinced with the idea you were saying कि employee को संभाल के रखो, बना के रखो, and they just don't leave for money or something.
No, that definitely is one of the criteria.
That's the main criteria these days, and if you'll see, this is the main criteria. If you look back, starting from last 5-7 years, where this new generation is coming up, they just want to hop up very quickly, and especially for the money. 2 साल तक 3 साल तक वही बॉस होता है, वही एमडी होता है, वही एचआर मैनेजर होता है जो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा होता है. इमीडिएटली वो खराब हो जाता है. उसके स्किल्स खराब हो जाते हैं, उसका बातचीत करने का तरीका गलत हो जाता है, बहुत काम मांगने लगता है एकदम से.
जिमी तो साइशा सर्विसेज को अभी का अभी हायर करो, कल सुबह तेरा प्रॉब्लम भी डिसअपीयर हो जाएगा.
I can hire साइशा सर्विसेज if they assure कि एक बंदा 10 साल से पहले नहीं
हो गया.
10 साल का टेन्योर कभी लेना भी मत. एवरेज टेन्योर इतना लंबा रखोगे तो अपना ग्रोथ साइकिल गड़बड़ कर दोगे.
नहीं Swati, I have people who are working for me from 17-18 years. You can trust them in a different way. Working skill अलग है, but ये जो पिछले 7-8 साल वाले employees मैं देख रहा हूँ ना, they just want to flip in 2 years, 1.5 years.
कितना एवरेज टेन्योर है आपका? एवरेज टेन्योर कितना है लोगों का?
अभी तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, 1 साल से 2 साल मैक्सिमम, बहुत कोई खिंचा तो 2.5 साल भाग जाते हैं, कहते हैं बॉस खराब है.
अच्छा ठीक है जिमी, I think on this particular one you and I will discuss at length. Absolutely, take it offline, but I still would say that it is a relevant problem. It is yeah Pankaj please.
Personality development program देना पड़ेगा आपको. इस तरह से तुम्हारे से सारे 1.5-2 साल भाग जाते हैं.
Believe me, मैं फिर बोल रही हूँ, मैंने इसको पैसे नहीं खिलाए आज. No, so it's a valid concern, Jimmy. Probably, looking deep into such resources that you have, I somewhere agree that the shift has happened in the economy. There are people who just kind of wants to hop jobs, but still, I would say there would be different methods to kind of retain and also judge at a very practical level that what is the kind of tenure we want from them to take the maximum output. Because सबका एक good ROI होता है. So आप जितना उसको वैल्यू दे रहे हैं, जितना उस पर इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, उसका रिटर्न मिल रहा है या नहीं मिल रहा है, you also will have to decide. And अगर नहीं मिल रहा, then again put that into the bad attrition वाला category and move ahead. Because sometimes that's also very, very critical that we all have to remember.
But Swati, I'll tell you, there is a very popular notion amongst employees, I would say rather management employees and senior positions, that staying in a company, the appreciation and increments are bound to happen at a certain standards. And they would understand over the years that what kind of a pattern that the company follows. Whereas they believe, and it's a very popular notion, I'll tell you, that if we jump, we may spend 1 or 2 years in a company, and if we jump jobs, we can, get a substantially higher salary slabs, and the CTC also rises to a great extent, which the earlier company in that matter would not, because see, any company has to look at a larger picture. A larger picture wherein, if like my company, if there are like almost like 800 employees which are working on roll, another 2400 working as workers and other supervisors levels. I have to look at a very larger picture with a broad perspective.
I agree.
I have to handle a team of 3200 people. But for that employee, he feels that, आज मेरी suppose करो someone is getting a package of maybe 24 lakhs per annum, and if he gets an increment, say to the tune of 10 to 20 to 22%, which happens with the growing companies, he believes that if I go to a competitor business or switch up my job to another company, I may able to fetch maybe 50% increment. So this is a very popular notion. I don't think we can, if that comes in mind, you cannot really, management at times feels, they cannot handle it.
I agree. So I completely agree with you here, Pankaj and Jimmy, both, because I have personally seen, I can't deny that this is a very obvious and a very practical problem that we all see. Okay. So on your performance appraisal and what is the kind of percentage bit that we'll just kind of take another 10 minutes down the slides. But even on the compensation. So typically when you look at a little, larger pattern of human resource, when they do the hiring and do the compensation fitment, it is basically scientifically taught to them that what is the kind of cumulative 1 year stretch of compensation that one has to look at to see what is the right thing to offer. Because typically you would have seen that many a times, at least I have done it in my organization, we have rejected profiles onto job hopping pattern that all the employees also understand. Okay, because the moment you see that somebody is shifting, the only problem some of the organizations do is just because they are trying to do a stress hiring, they break all of this, and that creates trouble for all of us, especially the startups, I would say. Completely spoiled the market, because क्या हुआ कि मेरे को ट्रेंड एक्सपीरियंस बंदा चाहिए, अभी बाद में सोचेंगे, पोच करने के लिए उठा लो, राइट? उसको जितना भी पैसा मिल रहा है, लुक एट द सीवी, लुक एट द सैलरी, 30% दो और बुलाओ. That's not long live, but unfortunately that's a reality. I completely agree with you on that. But somewhere while screening that resume that you want the right person, when we were discussing on the hiring, I would recommend you all to not look at such resources, because it may just extend your hiring process by 1 more day or 3 more days or sometimes 7 more days. But believe me, there is a huge supply of people in the market. Do not rush the hiring process. There are possibilities that you will be able to pick the right people. And obviously, I mean, it's a 80-20 rule. 20% times your hiring process also will give you a jhatka. So let's be mindful of what we are trying to do here. Even on the compensation management, that is what I have tried to kind of do here. Should I just move on and try and cover this into your comp? Okay. So comp management kya hai? Comp management is that process of ensuring that an organization's salary, bonus, sab mila ke, it remains competitive. We all agree, So here, when I was talking about that, there are few homeworks that we all have to do on each of these elements. This is also one area. Okay, what you have to do is you have to do a little market research. Figure out where would you want to peg yourself in market, right? When I say where you want to peg yourself, so there are benchmark surveys, there are things that you can do. You can pick up just a Naukri portal, try and do a little investment of time to understand for each role what is that P50th or the median value for that job role. Where do you want to peg yourself? I typically would recommend that try and be competitive in nature, and don't look at a P75th or a P80th value for your organization. Look at the median value and see whether you're doing justice to the salaries and the job roles and everything, right? So that's an important tool that we all kind of focus on to understand the market. Then once you've understood where do you peg yourself, try and look at internal parity. Spend time in understanding kitna job roles hai aapke paas mein, kitne buckets में उसको convert कर सकते हो. If you have to look at, because internal parity sometimes becomes the biggest dissatisfaction. Sometimes what we also tend to mistake, and with the kind of I just noticed that Jimmy said that somebody is with him for 17 years, but कई बार क्या होता है कि we also have to be mindful of tenure, the kind of role that somebody is doing. It may not happen because hota, many a times there is a person A who's trying to do a job role of let's say a HR admin or a HR senior executive. So first year kiya, same cheez, second year kiya, brilliant in what he or she is doing right now, but you keep increasing the salaries constantly. 10% bhi diya, 10% bhi diya, 10% bhi diya. Now third year you hire another resource because your organization is expanding. What you try and do is you pick up this person with the same experience bucket from the market, but start giving this person lesser comp. ऑटोमेटिकली सैलरीज चुपता नहीं है, कंफ्यूजन वहीं से शुरू हो जाएगा. इंटरनल पैरिटीज पे थोड़ा सा फोकस देकर देन डू योर हायरिंग. ओके, सो दिस इज वन एरिया, internal parity and external parity. External parity हमने कर लिया when we have kind of looked at the market and what is the kind of salaries market is paying. Internal parity is very critical when we all understand that internally what are we paying, what have been paying to our people, right? And also when you are making that comp structure, make good notice of the qualification that person brings in, the experience level, the relevant experience as well as the total experience. Total experience can be 10 saal, 5 saal, whatever, but relevance may be a little lesser. Look at that category also. Look at the skill set, look at the knowledge, and look at the job responsibilities that that person has performed in past. So look at all of this, try and make sense when you are compensating these people for a bucket of all this. Okay, I'm moving forward. So another few things, a few tools that you may decide to use for your organization: salary benchmarking. Again, that market check that you have to do it at least once in a year, or once in a 2 years. This will kind of keep you comfortable, competitive into the market, right? Look at the pay gradings, which basically decides what are the groups are getting paid in what sense. Look at the salary range for each job. Don't go blind on to कि अभी मैंने CV पढ़ा, अभी मैंने salary पूछा, तुम्हारा कितना है? 10,000 का, okay, let me give you 2,000 increase, 12,000 दिया, काम खत्म. Please don't do that mistake. It's the silliest thing that one can do for your organization. Try and look at, if you want to obviously maintain those parities, internal parities, external parities, one has to remember कि salary range क्या दिया था यार. So अगर salary range आपका बोलता है कि 8,000 से 12,000 के बीच में आप उसको कोई भी कुछ भी दीजिए, then you're doing the right thing. But अगर आपने पूछा कि वो 12,000 दे रहा है, 15,000 दे दो, you're doing the mistake. Okay, so look at all these things while deciding the compensation. I'm moving forward because we are losing time. Benefits administration. इसको कुछ explain करने का जरूरत नहीं है, but the only and only thing that you have to remember as an organization, as a business owner, benefit small ho ya bada ho, it is extremely important for you to showcase. Giving you a quick example, because it doesn't really take too much money. These are some simple benefits. Maybe your, what kind of holiday calendar do you have? Do you give medical insurances to your people? Do you, give enough long-term and short-term rewards or long service awards? Or do you give what kind of leaves? Very simple example. अभी हमने try किया किसी organization में 2 साल पहले. We announced special leave, and special leave के नीचे लिखा birthday is your special leave from a gift from an organization. Beautiful result. Once, I was doing an exit feedback, taking an exit feedback, and this guy says, what, I'm relocating to America now, so I have to move. But what I would say is, what touched my heart is that this is the one organization who used to give me that special birthday leave. What beauty. Okay, so these are the emotional things. Chota cheezein hain, but just kind of apply your brain and do that. Another example, guys, in the COVID time, how many of us would have seen on LinkedIn किसी ने भी ये डाला कि यार shit मेरा salary cut हो गया, मेरा पैसा काट लिया, मेरा deferment हो गया. किसी ने भी कभी देखा ये वाला quote? But I saw one LinkedIn update wherein this employee very beautifully had taken this picture of a laptop with a thank you card, hope you're doing well, a small sanitizer bottle and 2 masks. What was that? And that the tagline was that amazing. I would love to keep working for this organization because they care so much for me and my family. This is the kind of benefit value, right? So what we are saying is that monetary no monetary nahi. दिमाग लगा के थोड़ा सा apply करके emotional idea will really bring it on. So some few things that I've just kind of written down. Some gift vouchers, meal vouchers here and there, some minor celebrations. You've allowed people from work, to work from home. Just that care. That care has to be put up in their mind that you're the organization who's wanting them to be taking care of themselves. All right, training and development. My favorite again. Training and development. As we just said, what are we doing? We are trying to kind of learn something. We are getting trained. Everyone, each one of us needs training. Even Virat Kohli needs training, guys. And I'm not referring to the latest tweet. Please don't take me wrong. But I'm just kind of, I'm just trying to focus on the fact that training and development is required for each one of you into your organization. Focus on that. So very interesting quote that I read recently, and I just kind of break it down to you for understanding it better. The CFO in you, the Chief Finance Officer in you thinks that, what if I invest so much into training? Why am I investing so much into training? Why am I giving so much of pay to them? the CEO, the operations person tells you that what if you don't train them and still they stay? Yeah. So look at which bucket is more important for you. Training people and then taking that risk of okay train किया लेकिन हो सकता है कि attrition हो जाए. Whereas the other bucket says train ही नहीं किया, train नहीं किया उसके बाद में बिठा के रखा. What are we doing? We are not really playing sensible onto our organization. So remember that training and development is important for each one of us. So very simple. I mean, you can decide technical trainings देना है, soft skill trainings देना है. But a very simple tool that you can start right from this year is training need identification. Every year, as a part of your performance appraisal, put TNI as a part of your entire thing. Tell supervisors कि सबका assessment करें, साथ के साथ में appraisal में एक line में डाले कि what are the TNIs that person should go through, and then put that emphasis on that supervisors के आ रहे कि वो एक साल में उसको वो training मिलना चाहिए. It can be soft skill training which really works better for you, time management, teamwork, business etiquette, how one has to behave when he or she is meeting the client, communication skills, energy levels, stress management. Simple. Last but not the least, performance appraisal. Extremely important. Pankaj, you just mentioned performance appraisal, and it is very, very, very important. But I'm also trying to break one myth here. Okay, performance appraisal, as the science talks about it, it is not always paying that extra bonus or giving that extra money. The important, very, very important element of performance appraisal, which we somewhere kind of miss in this whole rigmarole of achieving these targets, is feedback mechanism. पैसे देना है, पैसे दो, नहीं देना मत दो, बट अपने मैनेजर्स को समझा के रखो कि साल में एटलीस्ट 2 बार या 1 बार अपना feedback, which is written, documented with lot of data inputs, bring it up to your people. Give them that performance appraisal feedback. And definitely, people, there are times, I mean, not a year like 2020, but there are times when people work hard to get, a good bonus or good increments. अभी हम लोगों ने कितनी बार सुना है कि गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर में कोई काम नहीं करता. हमने सुना है, हमने बोला भी है यार, गवर्नमेंट forget about it, nobody works in government segment. Can any of you tell me हम ऐसा क्यों बोलते हैं?
क्योंकि वो एक्चुअल में काम नहीं करते.
और वो काम क्यों नहीं करते?
Swati, it's a very preconceived notion now.
Yeah, it can be. Yes,
I mean,
yes,
we at least, personally, I mean, professionally, our work is such that we interact a lot with government officials, right? Or bureaucrats. I think, at least in today's time, what is said maybe 15, 20 years earlier might have been a bit different. But I think in today's time, there is a lot of work that is done, at least at the bureaucracy level. So
I completely understand, Rohan. I'm sorry to interject. So the statement that I just made is not to say that what is my belief system. The statement was made to understand the basic conception, right? That perceived thing that in our head. What we all say may or may not be right. But वो perception बना क्यों है? वो perception इसलिए बना है because we all understand that उनका तो एक timely structure चलेगा. Time पे promotion होगा, time पे DA मिलेगा, time पे TA मिलेगा, and completely, first year में 10% मिलेगा, फिर 12% मिलेगा, and pay grades and everything is kind of systematically written. इसलिए शायद वो हमारा concept बन चुका है, right? But
which
in
I
the
think,
private,
sorry.
Yeah, so which in reality, I would say I don't really understand why that concept is made, and I'm sure, and I'm completely agree, because I myself have a lot of people who are working into government sector. They are like completely, my brother-in-law is a doctor in AIIMS, and then he kind of keeps working so hard. My father has been retired from a government official's stage. But what I'm saying is, in private segment, what kind of organization you're trying to make focus on that. There are 2 organizations, okay? One says that every year we get 10 to 12%. इस company में रहो, अच्छा company है, 10 से 12% हर साल मिलेगा. Another guy says, यार, this is an amazing company. Why don't you work hard? If you work hard, you'll get 25% raise this year. What are we doing? We are trying to incentivize people for that extra bit, right? To working a little more hard. onto getting what they're really wanting to achieve in the sales, in all other kind of roles. Give them incentives to fulfill those targets. Give them tough targets, but kind of pay them more. I'm not saying this is the only technique. This is one of the techniques. Sometimes you have to follow this, sometimes you may not have to, right? But technically, scientifically, plan your performance appraisal also, right? There are few things in performance appraisal that I kind of, focus on when I'm working with a lot of organizations. Reward performance. Try and promote the culture of meritocracy. High increments to achievers. Bottom performers to be put on a performance improvement plan. I don't say just throw them out, but give them a performance improvement chance. See if they improve. But don't be so patient that you're kind of keeping and living with your bottom performers. And another thing which I kind of recommend, and this is the last slide, so don't feel worried. We are not going any further. But very simple thing: try and give goals and objectives to each of your position holder, each of your position. Make these positions very crisp. Okay, write down the KRAs for each position. The goals that you give to people should be specific, should be measurable, should be achievable. Don't give too difficult targets. It has to be doable. It should be relevant to what their position is. Somebody who doesn't even have a control on finance, don't give the objective of finance control onto them. If somebody is not even meeting the clients, don't give customer satisfaction as the key resource, key element, and make it time bound. Because we all know, अगर हमको ये बोला कि अच्छा तुम ये कर लेना, that has no meaning. तुम ये कर लेना कल तक. It has the lot of relevance into that statement. So this has to be planned. This has to be have a format to it. Goals and objectives कब लिखे, किसने चेक किया, सुपरवाइजर ने फीडबैक कब दिया, सेल्फ अप्रेजल किया कि नहीं, बिकॉज इट शुड नॉट सो हैपन कि मेरे को लगे कि मैंने तो सुपर काम किया था, बॉस को इडियट को समझ ही नहीं आता. Evaluate by giving data. Document those discussions that you've had. So that's it, guys. I'm leaving all of you with these thoughts. Think on them. Try and apply some of it into your organizations. I leave it here only. But wherever, if there is any topic that you want to kind of come back and discuss, I would be more than happy. I'm a very emotional HR person, so I love to discuss all these in details. So come back. We will have a chit chat and probably chai later. So come back with your questions. Thanks a ton. Any questions, any observations, any remarks?
I think we didn't even realize how the time went by till you said the last slide.
Thank you. मेरे को पंकज ने बहुत डराया था कि मैंने बोर किया तो वो मारेगा.
I think I just saw the time and we didn't even realize how the session went by. I think it was so much learning. I was making notes continuously.
I'm glad. Ashish, coming the feedback from you is matters a lot. क्या बोल रहा है पंकज?
कौन बोल रहा है? मैं देख रहा हूँ, मैं नहीं बोल रहा.
अच्छा, okay.
Swati, a question.
Yes, please. Oh, Suresh. Sorry.
इसका question बहुत लंबा चलेगा.
No, it's a very, very, very simple question. See, there was so many things which a company or a SME or a startup has to take care of. Practical problem कहाँ होता है? If I'm going to think, मैं कोई चीज implement क्यों नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ? Appraisal का section या वो section. I think this all thing is a bundle and we have to implement it together. चाहे new employees अगर recruitment हो, चाहे पुराने को कैसे tackle करना है, चाहे कुछ है. If I'm going to pick up one thing and I'll try to implement it, I think it won't work. So ये पूरा complete को implement करना, वो एक tedious work लगता है. तो उसके लिए कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर चीज भी हो सकता है.
उसके लिए साइशा सर्विसेज है.
ऐसा सर्विसेज है तो कभी भी हायर कर सकता हूँ, अभी भी कर सकता हूँ. उसके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में ड्रॉप करूंगा, कोई टेंशन नहीं है.
सुरेश की बातें नहीं सुनो, but it is a very practical problem. But believe me when I say this, it's not really, it doesn't really work on a package model. किसी भी 2 tool को उठा लीजिए, 3 tool को उठा लीजिए. If you want to kind of start implementing it, it's a very buy and buy process. And if I would not have had that experience of 3 years that I have now, I would have probably been into that question mark stage. But believe me, we have tried this many a times. Start working on this buy and buy, and you would not even realize when you have kind of completed this whole circle. Start with induction program.
It's like when you were saying one of the few points, I was just gauging my company or myself कि किस तरीके से कहाँ we are standing and where we need to improve on. So it was a hell lot of a difference. I think
आपको सिर्फ ये करना है, 3 कचौड़ी अपने लिए रखेंगे, एक आपका, मेरा, एक राधिका का, चाय का कप. I will come and do it for you. Very simple. I mean it. Let's understand this as a problem, and I believe firmly because this is not only the art. This is art and science ka mixture. So I can bet my life, whatever situation you have at hand, we will be able to sort it out by and by. एक कोई भी process लेके चलते हैं.
It was a lot more of like handling a commercial company, family kind of thing, wherein taking care of each and every member and these things. It was really great session here.